Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to look at getting started with the Seraphon in Age of Sigmar Warcry, using the Jaws of Itzl Warband box set from Warhammer Underworlds as a starting point, to build up a full functioning 1000 point warband. When the Seraphon war host sent to combat the Skaven invasion of the Great Parch was buried by an unexpected cave-in, only blessed Krojaks, known as the Aegis, and a handful of Saurus warriors managed to escape. Though the war host slain Starmaster survived, he was trapped beneath tons of rocks. Though the Slanmaster still attempts to direct his warrior, interference from Emberstone and the sheer amount of stone between him and Krojaks leads to communication being sporadic and often garbled. Krojaks and his companions, however, attempt to accomplish the Starmaster's orders regardless, no matter how unclear or potentially bizarre they may seem. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. So starting off for our box set, our initial box set, we get Krojaks the Aegis, of course. To begin with, this is who the leader of the Warhammer Underworlds warband is a pretty darn solid fighter with strength 5 being nice with a decent amount of attacks and damage 5 on crits as well, and defense 5 and 30 wounds as well. Makes him just really solid all round, both offensively and defensively, and he's got enough wounds there to stay around for a decent while. Now, you do get some cool abilities with this mod. First of all, you're going to get access to a bunch of abilities Saurus warriors in regardless will have access to, and your leaders have access to. So you got things like Cold-Blooded Commander, where you can make bonus move or bonus attack actions after you've taken someone down. And then you've got things like Tearing Bite to get some extra damage, and Wrath of the Old Ones as well. But you also have some interesting abilities. First of all, he does have a specific ability to himself in Sunblood Quickening. This allows him until the start of the fighter's next activation to add 3 to the move if a visible friendly fighter with a Seraphon rune mark that does not have move, mount or fly rune marks, and the start of the activation within 6 of this fighter. So you've got a pretty cool way to get some extra movement on some of your slower fighters here. But you've also got other abilities as well that come from the Jaws of Itzl. Dedicated Guardian allows you to protect some other characters. In particular, he can get protected by his other Saurus companions, which is really nice. But the Sotex Venomites as well, which is a model that comes inside the box, it is actually a token for Sokar to use, and this can be used by any of the Saurus in the box. And so if no enemy fighters has a Sotex Venomites token, pick a visible enemy fighter within 6 of this fighter and give them a token. While that enemy fighter has the token, if a melee attack action targets them, you allocate D3 damage points in addition to that and remove the token afterwards. Next we have Rotak the Guardian, and so this is another solid enough fighter. For the points, he is decent enough. You've got that defense 4, 16 wounds. You also got strength 4 with 2/4 on your damage with 4 attacks, so a decent amount of attacks. And a 2-inch range on the weapon is nice as well. This is just going to give you a good solid base of fighters to work with. Like I said, you've got a bunch of the other abilities we've already talked about. He's got every single ability that is not a Leader rune mark ability that has on Krojak, so you've got all of that way to get some extra damage out of him. He can protect your character models as well, which is really nice to keep maybe some of these squishier characters in Seraphon warbands alive that little bit longer. And lastly, we have Sokar. This is the third model inside the initial box set that we actually get to use as a fighter, because the Venomites are the little token. And Sokar is the cheapest of all 3 of the models inside, only slightly cheaper than Rotak to be fair. You've only got a 1 hex range, but other than that your stats are pretty much the same as Rotak, so you've just lost that inch of range there. You've got all the other abilities. You can protect your characters that are nearby. You can get the extra damage from things like Wrath the Old Ones and your Tearing Bite there, as well as using the Venomite tokens as well. And so where to go next? Now, something we definitely want to look at when we're building up this extra warband is bringing in models that aren't going to break the bank for you. Now, you're not going to want to pick up, say, like a large box with 10 models, 10 extra storage warriors. Yes, that affiliate warband, it's not going to give you diversity. It's not going to give you sort of bang for your buck. And what we're going to do is we're instead going to look at adding a couple of characters or box sets that get us to use the majority of the models. And the first of these characters we're going to look to add is a Skink Star Priest. This is a relatively inexpensive hero at 145 points at the time of recording. We also have the point here that you're going to get another model that's able to use Inspiring Presence on the table, which is always a good thing to have access to. And you've got your own extra ability, which I actually really like from the Skink Star Priest. The big thing here is that Tide of Serpents. It's a double that's just a direct damage dealing double. I find these are always useful if you've, not needing to get extra move, you're not needing to do extra combat attacks, stuff like that. Having these doubles that can just do direct damage is great. And the thing of this too is you get to roll some dice equal to the value of the ability. For every 4 to 5, it's a damage point. For every 6, it's a 3. So it can really spike up some decent damage as well. When you consider the fighter also has a ranged shooting attack as well, you can do a decent amount of ranged damage. You do also have an ability that is going to be available to all skinks in general, which is Nimble Retreat, where you can only use this ability if you're within 1 inch of an enemy fighter, and you essentially get a bonus disengage for a double. So while this fighter definitely doesn't want to be in melee, it does have a way to get out of dodge pretty easily. Next, we're going to look at adding a Spawn of Chotek. Now, this is a box set where we can use all the miniatures from here, and it's going to help us create that first 1,000-point army to play around with. The Spawn of Chotek does have a decent enough profile. Defense 4, 18 wounds for 130 points at the time of recording, of course, is pretty decent. You got that nice strength 5 range attack as well, though you are only 2-3 on the damage with this. You have a decent enough combat attack as well with 2-4 damage, another 2 attacks, strength 4 in melee. It's a pretty cool fighter, but really this is going to team up well with some of the fighters we're going to talk about that come inside the same box set with this model. And those models are, of course, the Skink Handlers. Now, Skink Handlers are going to be coming in the same box set as our Spawn of Chotek. You get 3 of them in there. We will have included these completely in our end review for you in our army list at the end of the video. But their big ability here is their hunting pack, where you pick a friendly visible fighter with the bestiary mark within 2 inch of them, and they get to make a bonus attack. This really does help for a double, sort of increase the damage output and the chances you're going to get some spikes and some heavy damage out of that Spawn of Chotek, who can really start to do some heavy lifting when you get those multiple doubles in your warband. Taking multiple of these guys so you can get, you have a ability to have redundancy on these is really important. But also they do have the basic sort of skink ability of Nimble Retreat, so they're able to get out of dodge if they do get in trouble, though normally if these things are getting hit they do die pretty quickly. And so our final warband does consist of our 2 heroes in the warband. These are going to be Krojax the Aegis, and we're going to have the second hero in the Skink Star Priest. Now we will move on to other fighters. We've obviously got Rotak the Guardian and Sokar, along with the Spawn of Chotek, but then we've also got 3 Skink Handlers to round out our force as well and give us a perfect 1,000 points. We hope that this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and that it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment them down below and we'll endeavour to get back to you. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe and join our Discord server as well, linked in the video's description, for all our future Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry content.